she's like, no, it's not worth trying to get out of there.
Oh, that's so easy to do, especially when you're in a hurry.
Yeah.
That's when I make mistakes.
Yanking the pants up, and they just.
Oh.
All right, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, I mean, what I did here. Yeah, here is I highlight my
Yeah, you have most of the beginning.
at the beginning, and then I
Right.
so
And I'll do the bell. Okay.
okay, but we got it.
Yes, but, which is really no tuxedo. Yes, and.
That's a good way to put it.
And so the prompt was to choose, plan our
Don't mind me, I'm just testing the mic.
100th. morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the North Hills. My name is Christina Newhill, and I am the lay leader today. We are honored today to welcome Michael Mehrazar, Executive Director for UUJusticePA, to the pulpit. Michael brings over a decade of expertise in social justice policy advocacy, volunteer engagement, and coalition leadership. As Executive Director, he is dedicated to utilizing this wealth of experience at the state capitol, while empowering UUs throughout Pennsylvania to actively engage in their faith by advocating for an equitable and just world. Prior to joining UUJusticePA, Michael served as a lobbyist with Penn Future, a statewide environmental advocacy organization. Michael also served as the Pennsylvania lead for the Choose Clean Water Coalition, a coalition dedicated to advocating for clean rivers and streams in all communities throughout the Chesapeake Bay region. Also helping with the service today is Peggy Fallon. And now, please join me in welcoming each other into this moment, made sacred by our presence. The words will be on the screen. Whatever the faith and traditions of your past, we welcome you. Whatever your theological stance, we welcome you. Whoever you are and whomever you love, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, whatever your journey has been, we welcome you, the whole of you. Our Sunday services are even more diverse than we are. So if you are visiting our church for the first time, please come back again several times so you may experience various topics and styles of worship and see if our church, our community, is a good fit for you. While our services do differ in style and topics, what remains consistent is our mission. Please join me in affirming our mission statement. And the words will be on the screen, I think. Okay. By building a loving religious community that nourishes the spirit, celebrates life, and cherishes the connectedness of all things, we will transform ourselves and our world. Newcomers and guests are always welcome to participate in any of our church activities. If we have any newcomers or guests with us this morning, we invite you to introduce yourselves. Please raise your hand and someone will bring you a microphone. Anybody? Nope.
Oh, we have one.
Yeah. Morning. I'm Jeannie Zhang, and I am actually the liaison for UUJusticePA at Sunny Hill. So, and I was a member here back in the 1990s, so I'm glad to be back.
We now take a moment, please join us for coffee hour following the service. We now take a moment to acknowledge that the land we stand on was taken from the local indigenous people, the Haudenosaunee Nation. Following in their footsteps, may we strive to become better stewards of the earth. It is good to be together, both in person and virtually. Our call to worship this morning is from our hymnal, credited to that prolific poet known as Anonymous. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. Now let us join in worship. Our opening words today are by Barbara Wells. O spinner, weaver of our lives, your loom is love. May we who are gathered here be empowered by that love to weave new patterns of truth and justice into a web of life that is strong, beautiful, and everlasting.
Yes. We missed that.
Well, The flaming chalice is a symbol of our faith as we join with other UU churches and fellowships in this familiar ritual. As we share the light of this chalice in our sanctuary, we also welcome those of you viewing remotely to light a chalice. The following reading is from the Passover Haggadah. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers, to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, Spirit of freedom.
Please rise in body or spirit as you are willing and able, and join in singing our opening hymn, We'll Build a Land, number 121 in the gray hymnal. The words will appear on the screen. It's time for all ages. So if the young and the young at heart will come forward, we have a story. All right. I forgot to make myself a place to sit. I'll sit over here. So glad you're here. This is called We Are Allies. So, we are allies even when we don't realize it. News is spreading everywhere, and there's scary stuff going on, and some of that is here. They're listening to the radio, and from the radio they're hearing 400 homes lost, earthquake maybe, or flood or something, and then vigil for young black trans girl killed by police. Oh, this is scary, scary stuff. How can we help? And these people standing in front of some buildings, and they say, "Vote for Earth. We need you. No Planet B." You know what that means? Plan B is another. If you have a second plan, the first plan doesn't work. But the point is, we only have one planet. So if we mess up this planet, there's no Planet B. So we can't mess it up. It can be scary. It can be sad. You guys make a sad face for me. Scary face? Ooh, that's scary. That's seriously scary. But I have great news for you. Are you listening? Every person, no matter how small, can do something to change the world for us all. You can change the world by sharing. And I think she's bringing back some old toys, donating some toys to somebody that she doesn't want anymore. And then there's clothes, toys. That looks like it might be, food. So we can share what we have for people who need it. Saving. It's another way we can help the world. And putting some money into a thing that says donate here. And I think it's helping all of these places, remember those houses we saw with the signs that said save the earth, and there's a rainbow. Joining. It's another way we can help. I think they're marching, and they have a sign that says, "Love is love," on a rainbow heart. I would like a shirt like that. Creating. And she's doing art that looks kind of like a picture of the world, maybe. And this is right side up for me. It says, change the world. Making posters, making signs, calling attention to things that need to be fixed. Being an ally means bullying has no home here. So she's being bullied, I think. But this person said, "I'll be your friend. I'll stop those bullies." Standing up if you see someone being treated unfairly. Pretty sure you'd all do that. Being an ally means saying sorry if something you did or didn't do hurt someone's feelings, even if you didn't mean for it to be hurtful. So you have to say you're sorry, even if you didn't mean to do anything wrong, but it hurt somebody. Being an ally means asking big questions and never being scared to talk about the tough stuff. So, how can I read this? How can I be kind to someone today? How can I make the world a better place? Do I make friends feel included? How do I feel when I see someone treated badly? What talents do I have that can help other people? What do justice and fairness mean in my life? By asking, we learn. And by learning, we can do better for ourselves and future generations. Together, we are allies. And they all are together, and you see they're all kind of different people. And one's in a wheelchair, and they got signs, and together, we're allies. So that's our story. And now it's time to go to your religious exploration classes if you want. All the children present this morning are welcome to attend religious exploration classes, whether or not you've registered. And parents, you may walk your children to class and stay with them if you want. We are a welcoming and inclusive community. So let's all sing the children out as they depart for their classrooms. Go Now in Peace, hymn 413 in the gray hymnals. The words are on the screens. And now it's time for joys and sorrows.
Good morning. I'm Marcia Pedoni from the Lay Pastoral Care Team. During our service, we create this sacred space for sharing in our community. It is a time to share significant life passages with the congregation so that you can be held in love and care. I will be reading the joys and sorrows, and Ingrid Burton Smith will be placing a stone representing each joy and sorrow in the sand. The sand represents our congregation, supporting our sorrows and lifting our joys. Today, we have two joys from Alan Lindsay. My younger sister, Becky, who is an RN, recognized that her right side lower back pain could be a heart attack. Women present in different ways. She had 2 stents inserted into her coronary artery, home after one night in the hospital, and today she's planting her flower bed. To Alan and his family, we share in your joy. The second one is, my niece Kelly gave birth on Monday to James Watson Buchanan, 8 pounds, 8 ounces, a healthy baby boy. James's older brother, 3-year-old Graham, was born with a rare genetic condition that caused him to be blind and have cerebral palsy. Graham is a loving his baby brother. To Alan and his family, we say, we share in your joy. Now the next, we always place one more stone in the sand for all the joys and sorrows that exist in our hearts but remain unspoken today. From far and near, please say these words, caring words with me. Let us hold in our circle of caring each person here. Let us hold in our hearts those who are unable to be here with us today. Let us hold in our memories those who have moved on. Let us find comfort in knowing that we are not alone.
Please get comfortable in your seat for our meditation time, perhaps with your feet on the floor, back more or less straight, whatever feels good. For our meditation time, Nick is going to play a melody I'm pretty sure you know. And the words will be on the screen, but we're not going to sing. Right? We're not going to sing. I was told some people might sing anyway. But just relax. Close your eyes if you like. Since you probably know the words more or less, sit and breathe. Let the meaning wash over you. Imagine all the people sharing all the world.
Please bring your attention back to the sanctuary after that lovely meditation. Our choir has prepared O Lovely May by Johannes Brahms, because after all, it is May, but this is not exactly the cheerful spring text that you would expect from a song of this title. It may, however, be perfect for the current dark moments in our country and our world. May we be as free as the birds singing in the hedgerow, so dark, and may we use the extraordinary power of our collective voices to amplify that bird who is singing in the hedgerow, so dark. And now the anthem.
Good morning, everyone. As has been mentioned earlier, my name is Michael Mehrazar. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm the Executive Director of UUJusticePA. I want to thank you all so much for allowing me to speak in your beautiful sanctuary. And I'll just note that you all are the first Pennsylvania UU service I've attended outside of my home church of Harrisburg. So thank you so much, and it's very enlightening to see the ways our worships are similar and differences. So thank you so much. I'm here today to talk about advocacy. I'm going to talk a little bit about why advocacy is so important to our faith. And I'm going to spend significantly more time talking about what I consider to be a very underappreciated aspect of advocacy, which is the power of storytelling. And then I'll end by giving some concrete actions that each one of us can take to start building the communities, or start building up our communities and our world. Now, I want to start with by just talking a little bit about UUJusticePA for those that may not be familiar with us. We're the social justice advocacy voice for Unitarian Universalists throughout Pennsylvania. We keep an eye out on bills happening in Harrisburg and policies throughout the state, looking to find bills that fit with our UU values. Equally important, we are looking to build the tools to make advocacy as easy for each and one of you. Now, I should start, before I talk a little bit about why advocacy is important to our UU faith, that I'm, of course, not a minister. And in fact, haven't been a UU for very long. But despite my lack of credentials, I think it's fair to say that what unites us as UUs is not a strict dogma that micromanages our minutiae of our lives, but is instead some fundamental beliefs and values centered with love. It's fair to say that what is even more powerful oftentimes than our beliefs is how we work to make those beliefs reality. We are truly a religion focused much more on the deeds that you do than the creeds you claim to hold. The Unitarian Universalist Association says that our congregations are called to advocate, organize, and act for justice to live out the values of our faith. The way I interpret that is that if you are serious about your Unitarian Universalism, advocacy is not optional. In ways small and large, we are each called to find ways to promote the causes that we support in the ways that make sense for us. Now, it might be helpful to define what do we mean when we talk about advocacy. Here's a definition I like. Advocacy is about using our collective voice to create public demand and build the power necessary to achieve policy goals. Each of those bolded words could itself be a 30 to 60-minute conversation, but what I really want to talk about is the collective voice. Advocacy is a team sport. It's not about what you individually believe or hope, but it's about being part of an effort to build the coalitions we need to get the change we desperately are hoping for. I also just put two Unitarian Universalist advocates that inspire me. Viola was a civil rights activist who went down to Selma during the fight for voting rights, where she was murdered by the KKK. Her story was so powerful that J. Edgar Hoover's FBI worked to discredit her and defame her for decades. Levi grew up on a barrier island reef in Florida, where in his young life, he has already seen the real life impacts of rising sea levels. He was the youngest plaintiff in the Youth vs. Gov lawsuit that worked to ensure that the US government was held accountable for their actions on the current young generations and generations to come. These advocates are folks that, again, I hope we can all learn our lesson from. Now, again, focusing on collective voice, another way to think of that is the power of storytelling. As humans, we've been telling stories from the days of cave paintings to modern film. Most of us find it inherently easier to follow the emotional beats of a story than memorizing a database of facts or instantly identifying a logical fallacy. Now, that does not mean we don't want our arguments to be factual or logically consistent. But what it does mean is that if you do not have emotion, love at the center of your arguments, then your argument will oftentimes fall on deaf ears. As was mentioned earlier, I've spent many years training volunteers to meet with their legislators, write letters to the editor, and I'm struck that so often these folks spend so much time concerned about making sure they know the technical details of a bill or the complete wonkiness of a policy, but they don't even focus on the why. Why are they taking the time to meet with this person? What is it about this issue that speaks to them? And I think that we as Unitarian Universalists and as advocates could do well to learn that. And so what I'm going to do now is tell a story that's important to me, and then hopefully tie it into some policy, and then really hopefully inspire you all to find what are the stories that you have to share and how that can help us be advocates. Now, there is perhaps no news event this year more impactful than the war in Iran. As Unitarian Universalists, we have a history of standing up against war, from the Vietnam War, the war in Iraq, and calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. Unitarian Universalists have long been at the forefront ending destructive conflict. Now, when we look at this conflict, how do we want to approach it? One approach would be to focus on the geopolitics of the situation, or to focus on the unconstitutionality of the strikes, or to talk about rising gas prices. And all of those are valid concerns worth mentioning. But far too often, those issues are mentioned, and what is not mentioned are the people. That's a picture of some of my family at my wedding a few years ago. Most of the folks in that picture were born in Iran, and all of them have loved ones that have still been in harm's way. I have cousins, aunts, uncles throughout North America, from Canada to Texas, California to Virginia, each of which is doing their best to live out their story. And what I'd like to do now is just take a minute to talk about a few of my family members so you have a real sense of what this actually entails. So I'll start with my dad. This is a picture of my dad. He came to the United States in 1978, just a few months before the start of the Iranian Revolution. He became a professor of microbiology. He marched against South African apartheid. He met and married my mom and was a wonderful friend, husband, and father. He also worked very hard to ensure that he could bring as many of his relatives to this country as he could, even in the midst of illness. He recognized that he could offer his siblings, his nephews, and his nieces, especially his nieces, a better life in the United States and away from a corrupt authoritarian regime. This is my cousin Siamak. He's a professor of chemistry in Towson, Maryland. He also does an incredible Michael Jackson impersonation, including the moonwalk. It's pretty incredible. And this is my cousin Lale. She's an acclaimed artist in Chicago who teaches at the Art Institute there. She recently had an exhibit focusing on the women's protests in Iran and looking about how that impacted her. And again, these are just a couple of family members. I have doctors, I have administrators, and regardless of the career or title, they are all members of their community. But I also have family that are in Iran. My cousin Siamak, his older brother Kamran's wife Ulduz, and their children Bahar and Parsa have been trapped in Iran despite over 20 years' effort to come to the United States. Because of a lack of diplomatic relationships and a dysfunctional immigration system, they have been stuck and now face the uncertainty of resumption of violence. My cousin Lale, her father, Yunus, unfortunately was not doing well, and wanted to travel to Iran to see family and friends, perhaps for the last time. It was intended to be a temporary trip, and he was intending to fly back on March 13th, but the launch of the war put that to an end. Now, these stories are obviously just a microcosm of the pain and suffering going on in Iran, Lebanon, Palestine, and so many other places. But they're my stories. They're my family's stories. And that's hopefully adds to its potency. So I've talked a little bit about the story, but how do we tie it into policy and advocacy? I was lucky enough to be offered the opportunity to speak at the No Kings March in Harrisburg on March 28th to talk about this issue. With 3 minutes, I had to try to constill my family's story and tie it into some policy. The two policies I'll just mention is, first, Trump, when he launched this war, initially claimed it was about the liberation of the Iranian people. But it was his very actions that condemned my cousins Kamran and his wife and his kids from coming to this country when he did a ban on Iranians even entering the country. Because of Trump's actions, my family members now have the face of Iranian Islamic regime on the ground and the potential of US and Israeli bombs from above. And then second, war, as we hopefully all know, is unpredictable. Whether it's Yunus not being able to catch a flight he thought he would, or the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, although that should have been predicted, we don't know the impacts of war. One of the main things is that this war has actually strengthened the regime. And folks like my family that were opposed to it are now in a much more difficult position. Rather than the easy clarion call of war, we need to promote diplomacy, promoting civil society, and of course, allowing refugees an asylum. Now, that's my story, and that's how we tie it into policy. But what I really want to stress more than any of that is that we all have a story. Each and every one of you has a story. Whether you're someone who has faced a healthcare issue and dealt with our dysfunctional healthcare system, whether you're someone that has faced discrimination, whether sexism, racism, ageism, LGBT, that is a story worth sharing. Whether you're someone who has been impacted or know people impacted by our incredibly brutal criminal justice system, or whether you're simply someone that has trouble sleeping at night because you worry about your kids' and grandchildren's future and the impacts of runaway climate change. Each of those stories is valuable. Again, this is a team sport. And so what I want you to do, each of you, today and every day, is think about the issues you care about, and then spend time seriously considering what is the emotional hook and how can I refine it to be as persuasive to others as possible. Focus far more on that than worrying about all the bills and technical stuff. That's important, but make sure you hone that story. And again, it's super important that we each share our stories, but equally important is making sure we uplift others' people's stories. Again, team sport. There are many folks, for a variety of reasons, that are marginalized from being in the room to tell their stories, and it's part of our job to make sure those stories get told. And this is a video from Alan and Clarabelle, who did a testimony to talk about why UUJusticePA means so much because of the policies that we promote that help their family. That's obviously much more powerful than just talking about a bill number in abstract. So I hope that inspires you all to consider to take action, and I now want to just spend a few minutes talking about what are some concrete ways to start acting on that. If you're not already, make sure you connect with Carol and check out the billboard, because your church has focus on actions that are happening in your community. And of course, UUJusticePA, we are hoping to be your source as Unitarian Universalists to get involved in state advocacy. One of the very simple ways you can get involved is by joining a justice team. Our model at UUJusticePA is by finding the issues and folks from throughout the state, bringing them together so that they can share ideas and stories and work on building, writing letters to the editor, providing public testimony, and meeting with legislators. Each of those teams meet monthly online, and so if you are passionate about one of these issues, I strongly, strongly, strongly urge you to please consider joining. I'll also just note, I understand for a variety of reasons, not everyone feels comfortable sharing their story, and that's okay. Again, we're a team sport, we need everyone. If you're someone that has experience with grant writing or connections with foundations, we could use your help. If you know how to go viral on social media, we could use your help. We have our annual meeting coming up on May 30th, and one of the things we're looking for are board members. If you are passionate about helping shape the vision of what UUJusticePA can become, talk to me and see if you might be a good fit for our board. Regardless of what it may be, each of us have a talent, whether our stories or a skill, that we as a small organization could desperately use. And then finally, of course, is consider donating. Donations are the lifeblood of any nonprofit. We're a very small, but hopefully mighty organization that seriously are frugal with any resources we give, but in order to achieve what we know we can and must achieve, we need more staff capacity. So any donation, whether a one-time gift or a monthly contribution, is deeply appreciated and seriously makes a significant impact. I encourage you all to stay connected over the weeks, months, and years ahead. If you're not already, please consider checking out our website, UUJusticePA.net. There's a QR code. Make sure to follow our email, sign up for our emails, and follow us on social. And you can always reach me at director@UUJusticePA.org. I really look forward to this community helping share the stories for everyone to hear. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for an inspiring, informative, and impactful message. A lot of food for thought, and hopefully action. So please join in responsive reading 464 in the Gray Hymnal. The words will be on the screen. Please read the italicized words. And this piece is called "And Then" by Judy Chicago. And then all that has divided us will merge. And then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind. And then both women and men will be strong. And then no person will be subject to another's will. And then all will be rich and free and varied. And then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many. And then all will share equally in the earth's abundance. And then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old. And then all will nourish the young. And then all will cherish God's creatures. And then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth. And then everywhere will be called Eden once again. Generosity is a spiritual practice, one that enlarges the heart and lightens the spirit. For no matter how much or how little we have, in the sharing of it, both the one who gives and the one who receives are blessed. As an independent Unitarian Universalist congregation, we depend on your financial support to pay our staff, to maintain our beautiful campus, and to offer meaningful worship services and religious exploration programs. Instructions for online contributions are on the screens. Our Share the Plate recipient for May is UUJusticePA. Yay. The mission of UUJPA is to pursue justice by voting, advocating, and making just public policies. If you are visiting us for the first time, feel free to let the basket pass, because your presence with us today is your gift to us. The morning offering will now be given and gratefully received. And this brings us to our closing hymn. Please rise in body or in spirit as you are willing and able, and join in singing our closing hymn, Just as Long as I Have Breath, number 6 in the gray hymnal. The words will also appear on the screens. Here are words for extinguishing the chalice written by Adam Slate and called Keep the Chalice Flame Burning. Be kind, be brave, be just, be merciful, be hopeful. This is how we keep the chalice flame burning
until we are together again to light it anew. As a benediction today, here's a quote from another song which may be familiar to us. Nick played it for our offertory music. Already a big recording star in 1963, Sam Cooke, who was black, was turned away from a whites-only Holiday Inn in Shreveport, Louisiana. And when he protested, he was arrested for disturbing the peace. In a deeply personal and poignant response, he wrote and recorded "A Change Is Gonna Come" in 1964. I am astounded at how much has and has not changed in the last 62 years, but I remain convinced of the power of his words. May they send us out today with a renewed sense of purpose and power to effect change. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.